Good evening, everyone. I'm Laura Schifrin, Chairman of the Planning Board, and I call this meeting to order on Monday, May 6th at 6:33 p.m. Roll call vote, please.
Carol Hofstas present.
Barbara Therian present.
Andrew Shepherd present.
Laura Schifrin present. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'd like to thank all of our veterans and current service members, as well as all of our first responders. Always got to thank them. Sorry, it's so important. Meeting is being recorded, as Hartley said, and it will be uploaded to the Townsend YouTube channel. Under 1.4, I'd like to add the completion of the board finalizing the town meeting reports under 3.4. If the board is okay with that. And now, since we have a few minutes, I would like to get to 3.1. Oh, well, I can't erase that. 3.
Yeah,
Sorry.
can't do that one.
No. 3.2. Review, discuss Townsend MBTA communities compliance accomplishments. Do you have any update?
Yeah, there is a scope of services received for the DLTA grant, and Andrew and Tina Kyle. If you want to go over it, it's pretty short. If you just want to read the tasks aloud,
Sure.
that would be great.
It's the same. All right. Scope of services. The community requires the assistance from a professional consultant to enable the community to fulfill its mission to review and update its accessory apartment zoning. The tasks defined in the scope of service shall commence upon the execution of the agreement and be completed by December 31st, 2024. Product, updated accessory apartment bylaw. Task 1, review existing zoning bylaw language. Timeline for task completion, May through June 2024. Task 2, work with the town officials to design and distribute a survey to holders of existing accessory apartment special permits. Conduct further interviews with permit holders, May through June 2024. Task 3, submit preliminary report based on in-house review and survey results to the planning board, June through July 2024. Task 4, meet with planning board to discuss preliminary report and revisions, August through September 2024. Task 5, revise preliminary report and submit final recommendations report to planning board, October 2024. Deliverables will be a survey, preliminary report, and a final recommendation report. Town point of contact will be Jessica Consalvo, and the MRPC point of contact will be a Joseph Boyle, the principal planner. So that was one.
Yeah.
The other one we have here, this one is the MBTA community.
Just so we're clear, that's the contract we have with MRPC to
Yeah.
perform those duties for us.
We already have it.
Right.
Okay.
So they're gonna conduct that?
That's their timeline.
Okay.
Gotcha. The community requires assistance from a professional consultant to enable the community to fulfill its mission to comply with the multifamily zoning district statutes under Section 3A of the Zoning Act, hereafter MBTA communities. Townsend was designated as an MBTA adjacent community type by reference to Mass General Law, Chapter 161A, Section 1 in the new statute. The tasks defined in the scope of services shall commence upon execution of this agreement and be completed by December 31st, 2024. Task 1, hold handoff meeting to introduce new MRPC contact to the project. That is for April. Task 2, submit public outreach materials for tabling at Maytown meeting, April. Task 3, continue to revise draft bylaw based on planning board feedback as needed, May through August. Task 4, make final edits to zoning bylaw and map and provide to planning board ready for public hearing. If zoning bylaw and map passes at town meeting, assist with determination of compliance application for the town to submit to DHCD, October, November. Meetings, kickoff meeting with planning board and town planner, April 2024. Meeting with planning board to present bylaws, map, and any additional compliance model issues, May, June 2023. And meeting with planning board and select board to present bylaws and map, October 2023.
Which was done.
Sure.
That's all done.
But the final is gonna be by the end of this year
Good.
to be submitted to DHCD. Right?
When do we think we're gonna have this at town meeting?
The,
The fall town meeting?
yeah,
Okay.
that's the plan. Thank you, Andrew.
Mhm.
Okay, you can also have 3.3, notices from town and other towns. And
Sure.
That time just before that.
Yep. So this is the town of Groton. Planning board public hearing notice, special permit for medical office use in VCB district, 16 Hollis Street, Unit B. The town will hold a public hearing on Thursday, May 23rd, 2024 at 7:45 PM in the town hall to consider an application submitted by Gloria Oppen under the provision of Groton zoning bylaw, section 218-5.2, schedule of use regulations, and 218-5.5, special use considerations. The proposed use is a medical office in the existing commercial building known as Wellbeing Acupuncture, 16 Hollis Street, Unit B. The building is located on Assessor's Parcel 112-135. Further copies and information are available at the Groton Town Hall. Submitted by Scott Wilson, Chair of the Groton Planning Board. This is another one from the town of Groton. Groton Planning Board, public hearing notice, preliminary subdivision plan, and flexible development special permit. Wyman Road, Assessor's Parcel 229-58. The Groton Planning Board will hold a public hearing on Thursday, May 23rd, 2024 at 7 PM in the Town Hall to consider the application submitted by Jim Casella for approval of a preliminary subdivision plan and flexible development special permit for a residential development known as Casella Acres on Wyman Road, Assessor's Map 229, Parcel 58. The proposed subdivision would create 6 single-family house lots on a cul-de-sac road as shown on the plans entitled Preliminary Subdivision Plan for a Flexible Development, Groton, MA, Casella Acres, prepared by Dillis and Roy, Design Group, dated March 27th, 2024. Additional copies is available at Town Hall and the Planning Board office, submitted by Groton Planning Board Chair Scott Wilson. We have the town of Shirley. Notice of decision of the planning board for the site plan review application of property owner Bennett Realty LLC, 228 Great Road, Shirley, Mass. Applicant Bennett Realty LLC, 228 Great Road, Shirley, Mass. The property address is 228 Great Road, Shirley, Mass. The parcel is 78A6. Public hearing was held March 6, 2024 at 6 PM and continued to March 20th, 2024 at 6 PM and continued to April 3rd, 2024 at 6 PM, at which a decision was reached. The applicant Bennett Realty LLC came seeking a site plan review in connection with Section 7 of the Town of Shirley Protective Zoning Bylaws. Let's see, they shared the legal notice, the original legal notice, the evidence in arriving at its decision. The planning board considered materials provided by the applicant, their engineer, and their agents. Comments submitted by the relevant boards, commissions, departments per procedure requirement. Let's see, they provided a plan. Let's see, let's jump down to findings, the decision.
Mhm.
Vice Chair Olfke made motion to approve the site plan for Neshoba Valley Dental 228 Great Road, submitted by Bennett Realty LLC on February 5th, 2024, and revised on March 25th, 2024, with the following stipulations and waivers. Applicant will extend the current row of arborvitae trees and add privacy fencing along their property line with their neighbor at 230 Great Road to provide additional screening for new additions at the applicant's expense, as shown in the revised plan. Job/project number 7819 and described in revised application narrative for the site plan review dated March 25th, 2024. Any existing arborvitae damaged during construction will be replaced of a similar size and type. Applicant will install electrical vehicle charging station as required by Massachusetts Electric Code. At least one parking space in any new commercial construction over 15 parking spaces must be made ready for EV charging stations. An
They
EV,
must not have gotten the memo. It's not doing well.
an EV ready space is defined as a designated parking space dedicated with a dedicated branch circuit for EV charging stations. All fixtures and light bulbs on the pole lights will be replaced with down-facing shielded dark sky compliant lighting. No alterations will be made to the current business sign. Waivers approved as requested for protective zoning bylaw include section 7.13.1 to waive a requirement for street furniture, trash receptacles, etc., and to waive requirement for a sloped roof. March 25th, 2024, narrative document will be revised to bring consistency between the cover letter attached, the revised application package, and the relic text in the narrative document. There you go. That's all.
Good, because it's 6:45.
Nice.
Okay. I'll call the planning board public hearing for 39 Greenville Road, assessors map 6, block 11, lot 0, and map 5, block 12, lot 0, to amend the Townsend zoning bylaws by changing the zoning from industrial to residential on the subject to parcels. On May 6th, 2024, now it's 6:45 PM. Board members, introduce yourselves, please.
Carol Hofstas, present.
Robert Therien present.
Andrew Shepherd, present.
Laura Schiffern, present. There's a sign-in sheet. I think it's upside down.
No, these are mine. It's correct.
They signed
Oh,
it.
you have, oh, you've already signed. Okay. For some reason, I thought it was on this table. You've all signed in? Okay. We're just doing that. Andrew, read the legal notice.
I will
please.
read the legal notice. In accordance with the provisions of Mass General Law, Chapter 40A, Section 5, and Townsend zoning bylaw article 5677, Section 145-69, the Townsend Planning Board will hold a public hearing Monday, May 6th, 2024 at 6:45 PM in the Selectmen's Chamber, Memorial Hall, 272 Main Street, and on Zoom at the following link. Regarding the following proposed changes to the Townsend zoning bylaws. To see if the town will vote to amend the Townsend zoning bylaws to change the zoning of the property depicted on Assessor's Map 6, Block 11, Lot 0, and having an address of 39 Greenville Road, and the adjacent property depicted on Assessor's Map 5, Block 12, Lot 0, and having an address of Greenville Road, owned by ADSD Realty LLC from the industrial to residential, or take any other action in relation thereto. Additional information is available for review at the offices of the planning board and town clerk, and during regular business hours. Parties wishing to speak in favor of or in opposition to this proposal may do so in writing prior to the hearing, or may appear at the hearing in person, or represented by an agent or attorney. Interested parties are encouraged to attend. Respectfully submitted, Laura Schiffern, Chair. This was published in the Sentinel and Enterprise, April 22nd and April 29th, 2024.
Thank you, Andrew. Invite the proponents to make a presentation if you like.
Sure. I'm Tom Gustafson. I'm here as for Sean and Susan Tossi, who are the owners of the property.
Okay.
I don't know if you're familiar where it's located. We have copies of the zoning.
Yeah.
People
Yeah, we, yes.
the maps if you want. But it is located up on Greenville Road. The entrance to the recycling center. There's a house currently on number 39. There's two parcels. One's about 6.5 acres, the other is about 9.5 acres. That was pre-existing before they actually changed it to industrial. It was at one time residential. The house next to it, if you're looking at the house on Greenville Road, which is it's number 39, excuse me, 41 Greenville Road, is also a house, a residential house. And directly across the street, there are three houses, number 34, number 36, and number 46 Greenville Road. They're all residential. And what the petitioners are looking to do is to change it back to residential. It's really a residential neighborhood. They would like to build a house on that land there. So there is sufficient frontage to do so. As it is now with industrial, they can actually not even make a change to their house on number 39 because it's grandfathered, but it really can't be changed. And they don't believe that it really is, and the neighbors too would really rather have residential use of this property instead of industrial. They really aren't interested in having a manufacturing facility, a warehouse, or anything like that up there in the neighborhood. So that's really what they're looking to do, is to change this to residential. They would put a house, another house up there. And it's actually in the middle of renovating number 39. It's basically, and got it on the inside, but depending on what it's zoned, it limits what he can do. Really can't make any changes on the outside unless it's changed to residential.
Comments, questions from the board?
I have just a couple of questions.
Sure.
Number 39,
Yes.
did you say that was a pre-existing house before the change
Yes.
on lot 39?
Yes.
And lot 43, was that pre-existing?
Let me see. I think 41, which is the one next to it on the same side of the street, that's pre-existing. I think 34 and 36 are pre-existing. I don't know.
Mhm.
Well, actually, across the street, it's zone residential. So
Yeah.
34, 36, and 46, there are three houses on the other side of the street.
On the other side,
The other
yeah.
side of the street is actually zone.
all residential, I understand.
Yes,
So,
it's just this little section
so
that's industrial.
I'm looking at number 39,
Yes,
and there's 6.5 acres there.
yes.
I'm just asking why the request was for so large of acreage there.
Well, it'd be for the entire parcel as well as the abutting parcel that they own, the 9.25 acre parcel. It's, a lot of this is actually wetlands, but to put another house there, they would need another 200 feet at least of frontage. So it's really not so much the acreage, it's the frontage.
Is residential use allowed in the industrial district?
Not at all. That's the reason we're here. We really can't even make changes or put accessory apartment in there or anything like that.
Tom, you made a comment that I don't remember from when they first came here. And so correct me if I'm wrong, if somebody else remembers this. I don't remember that it was residential before and then switched to industrial.
The house was built in 67. I don't think it was industrial in 67. We tried to look it up, but we couldn't find any information. But that house on 39 Greenville Road was built in 1967. And when it was converted to industrial, it changed the criteria of the residential. So if somebody bought it and did it all over and they wanted to put an in-law there, you can't because of it industrial zoning. It's non-conforming residential.
Yeah,
anymore.
I get that part.
So it hurts the house in general.
Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I just,
We couldn't find when it was zoned.
industrial.
You're right. But I know the house was built in 67.
But you also mentioned that you put up an industrial building.
Correct.
Where did you put the industrial building?
On 108 Old Turnpike.
That has nothing to do with
Nothing
that.
to do with this.
Oh,
No.
It was not on this parcel.
okay, I didn't remember that. I remembered your comment that you had put up an industrial building and people
honestly,
didn't like it.
The push, you can't see a house from that land and the pushback I got for putting it there.
I
was
remember you
incredible.
stating that,
It
and
was
that it took you
incredible.
2 years,
Yeah,
and that was industrial.
and
That
that
was
was
industrial.
industrial.
And we got threats, all sorts of stuff for putting an industrial building on an industrial lot.
Yeah,
Sorry.
it's not, it's
Yeah,
like,
it's
doesn't matter
horrible.
which way you go, it's hard.
But it was similarly located like this, where there's houses all around his industrial land on Old Turnpike.
Oh, I know. I'm very familiar with
So this
that.
would be the same situation where you've got a budding house. And as I say, it's odd that across the street is zone residential.
Did they, okay. So I don't know, maybe somebody else has some history here, but, the landfill was after I moved here. So so that would have been after 76. House was built in 67.
That's what I understand, yeah.
So, maybe you know, Tom, was the landfill industrial?
I couldn't tell you.
Yes,
And you are,
Bob Winter, 46 Greenville Road. I
okay,
own a property across the street, I own 75 acres there. And,
Where's your property?
They moved the dump from, Turnpike Road over to.
yeah, I know,
Greenville Road.
yeah, across that farm.
And,
So you're on the property up on the opposite side of the street?
Yeah. Yeah, I've got 75 acres on the other side.
Hmm.
that was across the way.
And you are in support of the
As
change?
long as it, I think you should
To
be able to do what he
residential?
wants with his land.
Yeah.
For one thing, that's how I feel about it.
Hmm.
As long as it stays in the same,
Hmm.
RA3, single family homes.
Right, right, right.
I don't have a problem with it. And I don't know if you got any letters from the neighbors, but,
No, and in fact, and I was looking at I'm sorry. I was looking at, the petition and none of the neighbors signed it.
I had spoken to all the neighbors, even him, and, they were everyone would be, besides him, but the other three would be willing to sign anything I brought in front of them. They were all for it.
Okay,
well, I
but
spoke
what I'm
to
saying,
them also, and they, as long as it's RA, single family home,
okay,
they're.
It's, as far as you feel it should be just single family, if any.
Yeah, that's what it's been right along. So it's-
Well, it's been right along and the opposite side of the street is currently single family.
Right. Well, but the whole area in the green
Hmm.
is, single family.
Hmm.
Yeah,
It's RA,
it's RA,
single
it's RA zoning, so you have to have 3 acre minimum.
Hmm.
So that's what we're going for.
Yeah.
What's existing across the street.
How long have you had this property?
We've been paying taxes on one for probably 5 or 6 years and on the other, maybe 8 months.
Mhm.
It took me 2 or 3 years to get a title to buy the other house. It had a bunch of issues
Mhm.
with taxes and different things. We got a title to sell you got a license to sell about 8 months ago, something like that. That's when we purchased it. 2.5 years it took.
Have you considered any other uses that would be beneficial for you?
Like what?
Mixed use, multifamily?
You don't have, there's like no town water there. So, I mean, I thought they required town water for like a two-family or a multi-use.
Right. Well, we have different zoning for different housing densities, so, you know,
There's only so much you could do there because we actually give the town an easement for the right of way to the transfer station, that's our property.
yes,
Everything to the right of that is
Wetland.
wetlands.
yeah.
So you only have a little, envelope to do what you can do, and I'd say single families is,
Well, I would just, the town is trying to do what it can to increase housing where we can.
right.
And so one of the thoughts I had was, would this be an opportunity to put two families in or something like
I don't
that?
even know if they have if you.
No,
can do families.
No, but this is a zoning change.
Oh,
So it might be an opportunity to
Right.
look at that. And, but I don't know, yeah, at this point in time, everybody's thought of it only as single family. I wondered if there were any thoughts on if it were two family.
right. Yeah, I really never entertained that, just based on, it's not a town reg, I never went any farther than that. Two families not allowed. So,
We have two families in town.
Pre-existing maybe, I don't know if you allow them now.
Yeah, I think we do.
I don't think.
We don't?
do.
We don't?
No, but we've talked about,
Right, I
Trying
think
to
there's a
expand
need
that.
here.
Yeah.
there hasn't been any built
I've
in a
never
long time.
really thought about it.
Yeah, I understand, because that wasn't your
Yeah.
original plan, right? Um,
Do you live in 39?
I live on Meadow Road and,
Oh, so you, okay.
He has thought to put an accessory apartment down to 39, which.
Well, if we have two family, then we don't have to deal with the accessory apartment right there either.
that's all
Mm,
changes, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and there is,
Good question, if you don't mind. If it's an accessory apartment, doesn't the family member have to live there?
Currently.
Oh, we're
Yes.
trying to change that too.
we're trying to change that too. That's been a problem.
You have the same regs, but allow
Yeah, I'm
anyone to
gonna,
live.
Right.
I'm gonna put in 25 houses
Mm,
on my property if we do this.
mm.
Mhm.
Well, Mike,
I'll
We
back
need
you.
housing.
I got the money.
That's what we need, really.
No, I didn't want neighbors to tell you the truth, that's why I bought it.
Mm, Okay.
well, my thinking is this might be an opportunity to allow two-family housing there, which we don't have.
What I mean, the article is,
I'm worried that's outside of our scope at the
yeah,
moment.
I
I'm sorry?
don't know that we can change.
I'm just
the
asking
article.
your thoughts.
Well, I
To
didn't- It's gonna go to
include
town
anything
meeting,
else.
so I'm worried that
It can be
it might
amended on
be too
town
much of
floor.
a,
To deal with
voted.
now for the town meeting, I understand
They're gonna
that.
have the
Yeah.
same use in residential A and B, the use is the same. Whatever it is in residential district will be available to them if the town approves this change. And that's the bottom line.
Oh, that's the bottom line for this one, for this
Yeah, because
parcel.
we don't have time, right, to do it, right.
Right.
I understand.
Public hearing.
I don't have intentions of making accessory apartments in all of them. This house happens to be too big.
Well, we can't really do it the way it's written now
Right,
on
yeah,
accessory
I mean,
apartment. So that's another challenge that this board is trying to do is correct that.
Right.
And this is,
If that gets, excuse me, if that gets changed there to the residential, they would have the opportunity to come before either zoning. I mean, they go to the building inspector, ask for a permit, and if denied, they go to zoning, they would come here.
Or what?
Well-
Why
If
would
they
it get
wanted,
denied if you will call?
no.
Oh,
If you decided to have an accessory apartment or make a two-family out of it or whatever,
you could do a
That-
special permit.
correct. There is a process for that.
But could I do that even, I couldn't do that if it's industrial zone?
No,
No.
you can't,
That's why
right.
they want the
No, we got it.
Yeah, I know you
Alright.
got it.
Yeah.
We're just trying to plan for
I'm just trying
everybody
to
here.
reiterate that a little.
But you're right, if the zoning was changed to put in what the criteria would be to have an accessory apartment.
Well,
By right, even if it was a special permit, then.
Yeah.
that's right.
So,
And then if it was zone two-family, which we can't do right now, then the accessory apartment is not even
right,
an
right,
issue.
well, it's just one of the.
And then there'd be no special permit required. They'd have it by right.
I mean,
Without-
we're not trying to make it harder for you. We're actually trying to make it easier for owners by right to do things, which is not allowed by the bylaws.
Right. Which is what we're trying to fix.
Okay, so, I mean, I think I'm warm too. I think we looked at the maps here. We did get a list of industrial properties, which I don't have time to review. And don't we have a copy? Oh, we really have a copy. Let me just, because I know this is gonna come up. So, there's.
When you say come up, Lori, are you talking about concern of decreasing industrial?
Yes,
Sure.
it was about 30,
30 parcels?
yeah.
Are they all in use?
No, they're mixed, and my understanding is because I also asked for, all I asked for was a list, but I ended up getting, for whatever reason, 8 field cards that were vacant. I didn't ask for vacant ones, but, so now I know it's 8
Okay.
out of the 30.
Here, in purple, right?
So, yeah, so this being the Greenville, yeah, but that includes the town property.
Right,
Um,
that's the recycling.
The dump, yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
The
yeah. And here, I mean, there's not a lot, and it is concentrated. Here, you know. In a lot of these areas, we have mixed use. So it's either commercial or residential or industrial. Okay. Again, we know this now.
Mhm.
And so whatever decision we make, we know it when we've made the decision. And the reason why I know it's coming up, because zoning mentioned it at the public hearing last time. You know, we don't have enough, I think the comment was, we don't have enough industrial as it is. Not that somebody would want to be there, although it's really hard because it's the landfill that surrounds it. So even you put residential in there, you're right in the middle of the landfill, basically.
A couple of questions. The current recycling facility is the square, I'm just,
It's kind of hard to read that.
69?
69.5, I think it is.
right. So in terms of future need for doing anything with the recycling area, what percentage of it is utilized now, or do we know anything like that?
Well, I mean, I've been in there, I'd say.
No, I haven't been there
You've
either.
been there. No, I've
To the
been
dump?
there.
To
To dump.
I don't even know where it
You
is.
know, So, I
Okay,
mean,
I've been
this
there.
has been industrial for how long? And nobody's chosen to develop it to industrial, or to make anything really industrial.
No, that's not my question.
Sure.
Currently, it's being used as a recycling facility.
Sure.
Is it adequate for the town's need? Will there be a need to expand that in the future?
No, not, in my opinion, no. It's 65 acres. When you go in there, you may be looking at,
It's a sealed dump now.
It's just a big,
So now the recycling center is like when you drop off
Yeah,
buckets.
there's
and then
no,
they-
there's no, it's not a dumping station anymore.
Right, I understand that.
So it's, maybe you're looking at 5 or 6 acres? When you go in there,
All
you
right,
want to drop
so
off mattress or you
We
want to drop
don't
off
need any
appliances.
more land in that area for
No.
our own departments.
Not in my opinion.
Okay.
I wouldn't think so.
All right. Then onto the applicant. It's conceivable, when I look at lot 39, there is an existing home on that. And that's on, it's pretty close to the street, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I wonder if there were any thoughts on having part of that parcel that goes, well, it goes like 274 feet in the back, remain industrial, and just keep the forward part residential. Is that something that would impact you?
It might create a problem in the future, you know?
Well, how do you see that?
If you have a house, if you put a house there and all of a sudden somebody wants to put a garage back there and run equipment, run a business out of there, it's gonna be a pain to the neighbors.
Well, that's what I was trying to suggest.
I just think now the neighbors don't see an industrial building there. They don't want to see an industrial. They'd rather see residential as a.
I see your point, yeah. Because I was viewing this as having a residential zone along the roadway where the houses would have a harmonic buffer line between anything beyond that. And that parcel, because of its shape, I just wondered what your thoughts were.
I mean, there's not much there to work with. There's only a little, it's narrower than you think.
Is it?
Yeah, I don't know the exact,
Well, this parcel here could be developed.
well, see, you can
This
see a little
one-
line, no, you can see a little roadway, like 2/3 of the way on the left of it.
The dotted
A
lines,
line.
the
That's-
dotted
that-
line.
I don't know if that's the scale, but that's like the easement to the dump, to the transfer station.
Is that the only easement to the dump?
That's the one, that's
Yeah.
the one you're using right now.
It's the only one.
And everything to the right of that, it drops down and it's not usable, that land.
So we have to maintain access to that area, right?
It's a legal act.
The easement, it's there. It
Huh?
doesn't go, it's there. It doesn't go away.
Yeah, that's it.
It
Oh,
doesn't
the
go away.
easement's
That's a
already there.
recorded easement.
Okay.
Is this why I could never find
So doesn't,
Probably.
Okay.
doesn't that easement bar anything else happening back there anyway?
Nothing else, that's town land. That's the landfill.
This is town land here too.
Yeah, 65 point
Do you
whatever
see
it
right
is.
here?
Okay. I'm just making sure. So there's access here, and access here, correct?
Hmm.
Potential access
The black outline
Is
is the
is
law.
what you're talking about.
That's 2 lots there.
Within the black
Right.
outline.
Yes.
That's it.
this. And here's the easement.
I
And
mean, if you look at the lot to the left, it's 251 feet of frontage. That can give you a scale, how much room we have to the right of that
right,
to work with. It's a small window.
Robert, what I think I might hear you getting at in regards to the town's industrial land is, as we had the planning board, making sure that that parcel is somewhat protected,
right. So that we could
and-
have access if there was a need.
But to which there already is an existing easement, and there is,
That's correct. That's
frontage
what I was,
access at different points.
okay.
There is frontage further up the street. The next there's 2 houses next to number 39. If you're facing his house, there's 2 other parcels with houses. Beyond that, there's a good 300 or 400 feet of frontage. That's town is. That's part of the 69 acres. If you look at the assessor's map.
Are you up? Also with that.
Sure, sure.
So they do actually have a frontage as well. I don't know if that. Only just like there, but they do have frontage. Actually, it's a.
Are there any referrals? Are you done with your presentation?
Yeah,
Did
well,
you have
questions,
anything else to say?
No, I
At
just
this
think we should
point?
approve this. So yeah, we'll put this in front. To
Okay,
show you this is a better map. This shows the frontage that the town actually has to get here too, as well as this is the right of way.
Right,
But this is actually there. This town owns this frontage.
right.
I
But
can't
this,
really-
the topography be here maybe is bad, is why we're
It's-
still
it's not
using
as
the
good.
easement.
that's true.
Right.
It's not as good.
So that's probably why we're dependent on the easement right now.
Yes, it is frontage.
Right.
So if the board is good, I'm gonna have Andrew read the mandatory referrals, okay?
All right, this one is from the Board of Selectmen. Their comments is the board is concerned about preserving existing parcels that are industrial, but agree that the landowner has the right to do what they want regarding their property. The select board trusts the planning board to make the proper decision in this matter. That was, I believe, Chaz.
Okay.
This is from the land use coordinator. Says this property is in aquifer protection overlay, recommended rezoning for RA-3. That was Jessica. Salvo. This is from the water department. It says no water in the area yet, exclamation point. That is from Dave Beecham. Conservation Commission, see next page. No comment.
And that's it, and no other comments.
Let's see, the building department, 3 things. It should be zoned RA as it is in the aquifer district. There is no use advantage in either RA or RB, as that are both allowed the same uses. RA would fit in with neighboring properties. Bob Garside. That I believe is all of them. That's it.
Okay. And there were no other emails from abutters or anything? Nobody else has any other questions?
No, I think it's correct to keep it. If we change it, it should be RA.
You would put that with your report, your recommendation.
Right.
I don't have any direct questions to the applicants or I think of other board members.
I don't have any direct question.
I don't think, certainly a concern in terms of the town's industrial, having enough industrially zoned land, but I do think that this is pretty consistent with the existing neighborhood. And it's been zoned industrial for how long? And nobody has found it ideal enough to turn it into a more industrial property.
I agree. It'll be beneficial for the neighborhoods there now to have that done.
Sure, and particularly with the, the housing shortage that we're, trying to tackle, it could be a benefit to the town.
Okay, so I think we're in agreement of all the supports, and basically the only slight opposition is the reduction of the industrial land, which we don't have a lot.
Should I make one more comment?
Yeah.
I don't think that industrial land is usable. It's a floater.
Yeah, it's
And
not.
you can't build on the dump.
No.
And the dump, the reason they closed it is they ran out of room that was usable. So I know I worked at, I sold all the material over there also. Better off just making it RA,
Does that,
get some use out of it.
do dumps die after a while? Like, does everything sort of disintegrate?
Well, oh, does it? I don't know,
Capped.
because
It's
I'll tell you,
line capped. It's gonna, it might sink a little bit, but you're not gonna, you'll never be able to use it.
Well,
Because
in
it's
other
talking about-
communities,
it's.
once the
it's,
use is
yeah,
expired or
it's closed
matured,
down, but-
I've seen them
You can excavate it, get everything out of there.
Well, I've seen them encapsulate them and, have parks and playgrounds and things like that.
You get soccer field, solar panels, they do all
Right.
kinds of things.
Yeah.
Right, so in terms of, it might serve well as a solar farm or something
Yeah,
else.
that's what they did in.
So,
I don't think we'll be making a decision on it.
no, but I think we're trying to accommodate the neighborhood here and still not. It's hard to project what the community will need in the future, but to minimize any reduction in industrial that we have now. There's a lot of people feel we should have more industry in town. So what people interpret the word industry to mean can be in a variety of things. So I personally think that was a lot of my questioning, is how much of the industrial should we preserve? That was really what I wanted discussion on. So it appears that, in my perspective, to convert that to residential A is the best answer for that part of the roadway and the community and the neighborhood that's there. And the request and the remaining land area there that's industrial is certainly helps us feel that we've protect any future interest in that need.
Okay. I think that we're ready to entertain a motion. If anyone on the board would like to make a motion and have it seconded to support, or if not, I can't make your motion.
I make a motion that we support the applicant's request to change the zoning from industrial to R1A as presented in the graphics that are here.
Is that correct? Because isn't it just RA?
Three.
It's RA3.
RA3, R3,
RE3.
RA3.
Okay.
I'll second it.
Any further discussion?
Is that language adequate? Okay.
And then we can write our report after. Okay. All right, what's been made and seconded to approve the request to move these parcels from industrial to RA3. I'll take a roll call vote on this.
Carol Hoff says yes.
Robert Therin, yes.
Andrew Shepherd, yes.
And Laura Schifrin, yes. We'll work on our decision and we wish you the best of luck.
All right, thank you.
It should say RA3, we want to amend the vote at town meeting. It says RA now, I don't know if that's.
Oh, so that needs to be amended because that's what the warrant is?
We can amend it to say RA3 instead of just RA.
I think that would be about interest, right after it's read.
That could be modified at the meeting.
We need to make it more restrictive, which this would be,
But
because
that's not up to the planning board.
there's no question that it's not RA.
Yeah, we're not gonna do that.
But yeah, make sure you do that.
Yes, we can do that.
Because you'll be there doing that.
Yes, understood.
Okay, very good.
Yes.
See you tomorrow.
That's why we have attorneys here.
We will be specific.
Okay, very good. Okay, so now I will, we've done with the notes and we're done with the vote. So can I close the hearing?
I think the vote officially closes it, so not to worry about that. That's
Okay, so you have a time of 7:23.
Yeah, and if you want to do the report now, I mean, if you like what I wrote, that's fine. If you want to add.
Well, let's go over it, okay?
Just leave a copy.
So it's the whole, it's In accordance with Mass General Law, Chapter 40A, Section 5, the planning board held a public hearing on Monday, May 6, 2024, to review a property owner's petition for zoning bylaw amendment submitted as Article 14 for the special town meeting, May 7th, 2024. So that's the introduction
Yeah.
to this.
Does everything look right?
That first paragraph, yes.
Okay.
Because it is Article 14 and it is a bylaw amendment. So that, I mean, you don't have to have, in this part, you don't have to have the map lot, whatever, you're just referring to the petition.
And that's in the warrant article.
Okay. So I will read what you have highlighted.
Yeah, so start underneath the section that I indented, because this is something if the board wants to leave it in, they can or not.
I'm going to read it and you tell me if you want it in, okay?
Yeah.
This sentence was written, am I
By
doing
a
that?
previous planning board, yeah. This was
Okay.
done years ago by a previous.
The
board.
following sentence was
Correct.
written.
Correct, yeah.
Okay, so just so that you all know this, this sentence
Okay.
was written on an earlier 2010 planning board report, which was before my time.
Yeah.
On the planning board, and before Beth's, before all of us,
Yeah,
actually.
yeah, I was gonna say.
Okay. On another petition for zoning change, the board should create its own statement for the current situation. The planning board ruled earlier that it is reluctant to sponsor future zoning district changes until a full review of all districts is undertaken.
I don't know if it ever
I don't think
was.
it has been since 2010 in
Okay.
particular.
Okay. So you can leave it in or not even, don't have to, it's just something I found and I was like, oh, okay, I've never done this.
Okay, it's probably appropriate so that it's understood by the voters that planning is telling you this was done in 2010. There's been no study since then to change, where changes were made. Therefore, in the light of any petition-based requests being submitted, the board encourages debate at town meeting as to the merits and impacts of the articles submitted. Regarding article number 14, the planning board has reviewed the merits of this proposal and unanimously recommends amending the bylaw for the following reasons. All board members' comments out here. Well, you can,
You can read my comments if you want, and then, go ahead. That's your- Is that
board finds that the intent and purpose of the amendments are consistent with the goals.
they're more in line with
Business
the goals of
and-
the housing production plan?
I would think so.
Don't you think so?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are we
So-
looking for things to put there?
Yeah.
Fillers.
No, I think that it should be the housing production plan,
Okay. Thank you.
which has
Yeah.
been made a part of the town's master plan.
Yeah, true.
That's a good one.
Okay.
More
Yeah.
specifically.
More specifically.
Okay.
All right, that's a heavy.
Okay, so that's number 2. You good with that?
Yeah, and then I could,
Well, can we add more to that?
yeah.
Yeah, what are you thinking?
Well, I think it's a better use of the.
Oh, of that individual. Well,
Right, and it's better for the current neighborhood.
yeah, couldn't we go
A
with,
subsequent line item, I think. We can put that in.
Well, the need for housing is the driving force here, but,
Sure.
I was gonna put that in 1.
but there's no,
Number one, you can do that one.
Yeah.
I was gonna put that in 1.
yeah, that's the major priority.
Right, and then
But
we're,
there's more supporting arguments for that if you want to add them,
I think,
well, that most of the neighborhood is residential.
right?
It's
And it'll be beneficial for the existing neighborhood.
residential.
And there's nothing detrimental to the town,
It is not detrimental to the town.
nothing.
And is
detrimental.
not likely to be used as industrial.
Right,
Poor soils are there, it's wetlands,
well, I don't,
it's A3 because, aquifer protected.
Hmm.
So why would you want industrial there anyway?
I
I'm
mean,
throwing
really.
stuff out.
Well,
Yeah,
I know, but, you know, the public at large thinks of the word industrial as factories and,
Well,
they
no,
do.
well, sometimes I don't always think of industrial, because sometimes when I think of bringing more industry, I'm not always thinking of factories, I'm thinking of restaurants and maybe boutique shops, which really aren't industrial, but sometimes when you talk about bringing industry to town, in my head,
Mm.
I'm not looking at manufacturing plants, so to
Well-
speak, nothing against it, but I'm
Well-
looking at more like, I guess, more commercial type
well,
things.
for example, in one of my older clients had a nonprofit, and they were engaging autistic people to fabricate little gifts, things and stuff. And that was viewed as industrial. And it was not any huge corporation or any big industry, really industrial that you would think of in terms of the industry. But that word has a broad expansion, and
If you make stuff, I guess that could be considered.
well, you know,
industry.
someone might decide they're gonna set up a little seamstress
Sure.
shop or something, and it would be harmonic with the neighborhood, but still,
People can do that in home anyway.
Mm.
That's an
right,
in-home business.
well, that's,
You don't
yes,
need to
but
be
you're
zoned
talking,
industrial.
right, but
Or-
if you had a website and you were producing a garment and you needed help to produce it, where you'd have several people preparing and making up the garments, that would be considered industrial. And so I'm saying there are charitable organizations and nonprofit organizations that do that kind of thing. So
what would you like to add to this? Because I'd like to get this written before
right,
Andrew has to leave.
right. I don't think there's any more to add. I think we got enough there
But
to,
you do, yeah.
Okay,
Right.
so on the next one, the board finds that the uses listed in zoning bylaw 145-26 entitled residential districts would be, I think we would be
Consistent.
consistent with the intended use of the area because it's residential, mostly across the street, and there's already a single-family home there.
right.
When the intended use of the area and are considered an appropriate use of the land. I would agree with that.
We're going from a higher, like use, more allowed use to a less allowed use, so you know.
Correct.
All the uses listed in residential are gonna be okay there.
Yeah.
It's like a, yeah.
Yeah, you're going to a lesser use.
Yeah.
The board finds that the residential permitted uses operating from such a location are intended to have low impact upon abutters. It finds further that the proposed change to residential use would not
One of those lawyers, not double negative.
would not negatively impact vistas nor would it be a negative impact on traffic. This is true. Okay, number 5, in the light of the fact that this amendment would allow residential development activities in an area lying over the town's aquifer, the special permit granting authority would exercise a high level of scrutiny when considering any permits in this area. This is true. That would be us, right?
No,
Or
actually,
zoning?
For the Aquifer Protection Overlay
Oh,
District, this is zoning
conservation?
board of appeals.
Oh, it's on, okay, fine. Good.
So what that special permitting granting authority
Is
is
the
not.
zoning,
Zoning board of appeals,
zoning.
the special permit.
The planning board, do we have to mention that?
Do we have?
Yeah.
No,
Do you
because
think that should be part
SPGA
of?
goes back to our bylaws, that should.
Right,
Yeah, so
they just have to comply with everything
Yeah.
else.
it's implied.
Yeah,
So
so,
the next line specifically calls out the planning board
Okay, the planning board notes that they have jurisdiction regarding any type of land disturbing activity that meets the major project threshold for stormwater management. Oh, thank you for putting that, because that is newer than everything else. Okay, that
Brings
we
it to
have,
the-
newer than the bylaws anyway. Has jurisdiction over the projects meeting minor permit threshold. The Conservation Commission has jurisdiction over projects that impact surrounding wetlands and water resources. And I would say to add that. So,
So read first sentence.
move the first sentence and start with the planning board notes.
Oh, how come you want to remove the first one? The first one addresses the fact that it's in the town's aquifer protection overlay district and simply highlights the fact that,
No, I'm number 5.
oh, yeah. Okay, so I'm not sure you're removing.
The first sentence
Eliminate it?
in number 5.
Okay,
About
so the
the-
reason that's in there
Is the
is,
aquifer
yeah, it's,
protection.
and that's important in this case because it wasn't in their proposal, but it's something that the town all
but-
agrees. It is in the aquifer protection overlay district. And all the sentence says is, the
So
residential development is gonna be
Okay.
Subject to that.
subject to
Subject to
the,
the-
yeah. So it's a very generic statement, but it just highlights the fact that it is in the aquifer protection district and it will have to be in our.
and it's under another authority than us.
Well, that part of it is, but see down here, planning board is
Yeah.
also jurisdictional over stormwater of
Yeah.
certain size. And then conservation is jurisdictional over the wetlands and their area, like everybody has their area. So
Yeah.
that's all I was doing there.
So you feel that, so
He's
do
gonna be
you
like,
feel
oh,
we
man,
should make
going
those,
back to industrial.
those 3 points?
Yeah, I think this covers it. I just
Okay.
think, I don't know if you want to add that the special permit granting authority is a ZBA, because it might change, you know what I mean? And it could change in the future, who knows? It could be the planning board. So I think that's why
You left it that generic.
Leave it
Yeah,
at
I would leave it, I would leave it in. yeah.
where the planning board is definitely reviewing stormwater and the conscom is reviewing wetlands, so. that's
Okay.
that. Anyway,
So for number 1 then,
Just reading it, I don't know how the rest of the board would feel. I feel like number 2 seems like the most poignant if I'm a resident of town meeting. And I'm only gonna read part of this to say that, it fits with the master plan, it fits with the housing production plan. So I would maybe suggest we move number 2 to number 1
Right.
and then put whatever
Yeah.
our number 1, whatever we wanna specifically add
Right. Well,
Either
that's
at
the
2 or-
strongest, right.
down
Yeah, so
below
it
5.
Okay. Is it okay that we mention the housing production plan being part of the master
I would
plan
think so.
and then the housing?
Yeah,
plan
that would
first?
just enhance
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Yeah,
At least for town voters, I think that would help. Not
Yeah.
everyone would be familiar that within the master plan is a housing.
Right, but I think that the housing plan is,
yeah, I would do that.
Mention of both.
because the master plan entails so many other things.
Sure.
Okay, and this is housing to go residential, so, all right. So what other comments do you want to make in now number 2?
So we don't know, one thing I thought of, I don't know if it's worth having as a comment, was that we don't necessarily know when it became industrially zoned land.
Right.
No, but it's mainly residential now, and I think that's a point we were making, it was consistent with,
When did the dump go in, Lori? Right after you moved to town? Or
Yeah.
Before?
no, a year or so after, because, Rosback Farm was the dump.
Okay, yeah.
Right.
And then they closed that and opened.
I guess, so one thing I
Turnpike
wrote,
Road. So it was more than a year,
One-
maybe more than 2.
just guessing, I wrote it's been zoned industrial for the past 40 years and it has not been,
Yeah,
Okay.
specifically used
It's
as.
not been developed.
There's been no
Yeah,
need
yeah.
or demand or,
the board of previous gave
And
a
it's in
chance to
an
this land.
aquifer protected area, so it may not be developed,
Yeah, I guess if you think of the future chances, it's probably getting less likely it would be.
developed in the
Developed.
future.
Well,
The
again,
town's land.
No,
that area.
well, that area.
There,
well,
there's a lot of aquifer and wetlands
Yeah.
and whatever.
I know, but again, you think of some of these other non-traditional things like wind farms and solar farms and, you know, their structural requirements and load bearing requirements are a lot different than a building would be, for example. And a solar farm or a wind farm doesn't have a water demand and doesn't have a sewage demand and probably has no waste products and very little transportation happening.
That's allowed in residential,
Right.
so that's an allowed use in residential.
And
No, is
No.
it really?
that's where it should not be.
Solar is, yeah.
I know.
Absolutely.
Right.
West Meadow.
Right.
West Meadow Road.
And so I think that's
That's
what the
residential.
direction would be, that, you know, and in terms of preserving this for, whether it's electric generation or whatever nature it may take in the future, I mean, it's very conceivable towns will have their own independent power supplies and stuff, so, trying to preserve a place where that can happen, would be something we should think about.
So, but just circling back to here, I guess one of my suggestions, and I don't know what, it sounds mixed, but, you know, as a notice to the town meeting voters when they read it, you know, an acknowledgement that this has been zoned for 40 years industrial, and, you know,
Right.
we're
And
now recognizing that
Right.
consistent with the neighborhood.
how about adding to that, that the amount being the amount of acreage being
Yeah. because the house was
remaining,
built
that
in-
will remain
longer than
seems
that.
adequate for any future
Sure.
needs that can be projected.
That's
So
67.
calculate the amount of
His existing
industrial
property.
zone.
Right. So I think stressing that we're only doing this for a portion of that land. And in other words, this zoning bylaw is to take an existing industrial area, a portion of it, a small portion of it,
Oh, yeah.
to allow for,
It's just the two lots.
Yeah.
right, so,
So I think what he's saying is this whole area, right?
Right,
We're
and
only
there's
taking
a
a
portion
small
of it,
amount.
right.
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 So you can make that point.
Right, and then, you know, we have preserved the remaining, it's not like we changed the whole thing from industrial to residential. And
Well, what was the total acreage of that? There's a 6 point something, and what's
I think
the
it's
other?
15.
I thought it was 6 and 9.
69 acres.
Okay, so 15 acres out of, and the rest of so 15 acres of the rest of that, which is, we know, almost 70 acres, 69.5.
Right, so
KUS.
So
that's a
there's, so there's
substantial amount.
70 and 15 are,
Right.
or 16, whatever.
Did he give you the clearer one? Do you have that, Robert?
What's that?
I don't know, is that one clearer? I don't think it's any
I
clearer.
had it here.
I think you should,
No, the other.
Here it is.
I mean, that's it.
No, it's not that much clearer. There's 69 here, there's 16 here, there's maybe 13 there. And who knows what's there. But if we're trying to say proportionally, you know,
It's,
Oh, there's.
this is
in it-
industrial, this is
It's more
industrial,
than 70 then.
this is industrial, this is
yeah,
industrial,
it is.
even that's industrial. And he's just doing,
15 out of maybe,
so if that's really 16
80,
and that's
90 acres,
70.
right?
yeah.
He's doing like 15.7 out of however.
So
Well, you could
we're-
almost say it's about 100 acres and 15 or 16 of it
It's
is gonna be
approximately
pulled out.
12% of, we're reducing the
Yeah.
industrial area by 12% or something in that area.
If we knew the number, that would be
Yeah, I know, it'd
a
be
nice
better.
thing to write. I don't know
Okay,
if we actually know.
So, if you can probably get that going. Beth, if you can get the total acreage of all of the industrial in that section.
That's actually not.
Okay, which is the town-owned land as well as several other parcels besides
we
these
have
two. How many?
Uh,
Oh, the platform's in there.
yeah, it's right there. Well, at least there, I don't know if this is,
Show that to Beth.
So, yeah, we have a total of 15.7 acres for these parcels, is that what you calculated?
Yes, but if
Yes.
you add up all the industrial land, it's about 100
100?
acres.
Okay, so about 100, we'll say approximately 100 minus the 15.7, is that fair?
So,
Well, you have the industrial list, so you can actually do this, it's all this section, this whole section. And what's being taken out is what
We've already got 15.7 acres, so yeah.
perfect. She has that.
Okay.
We can do that.
So it'd be a total minus the 15.7. I'm gonna do this before I read some.
Because that's a good point to let them know, because the question's already come up to the board of selectmen, which is why it was on their comment. I had not read that before. So I think it's important to know that it's just a small amount
Right.
of this large
yeah,
parcel.
we're not doing anything
Yeah.
big here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then also maybe, I don't know if we've said it, just one type of a statement that says, consistent with the neighborhood and
Yeah,
the,
we did. say that.
we did say.
we did
okay,
say
all right.
that.
It's been, it is a residential neighborhood and is beneficial to the neighborhood. Is that what you said? I was trying to follow. And so.
I would just say it's consistent with the neighborhood. I can't, and we don't know that it's beneficial. Somebody
Yeah,
else,
right,
somebody
that
may
was
not think it is,
Sure.
so let's not add that adjective to it, but it is consistent with the neighborhood. And it's not going to have a negative effect.
Yeah.
So, hopefully. So is after you have it written up, would you send it to all of us?
Sure, I
And
can,
then if somebody has a comment, you can comment. Do you want to make a motion? Do I sign it?
No, you don't have to sign it, but I think what I'll do is either finalize it before I leave tonight and then email it to everybody and then give it to the town clerk.
In the morning, okay. So if you all could just respond to her, yay, nay, or
Okay.
whatever,
Yeah,
and then it does not have to be signed.
No, and you don't even have to vote on it unless you want to. Like, if you want to wait for the final draft and vote on that, you can, but you don't really have to because you've all discussed it.
Yeah,
You've
yeah,
already
yeah.
given your votes for
Yes, we
That's
had,
all.
we had that vote.
Because that's all I'm gonna put in the report is your support and your vote. And then the comments that you made, you just, and then.
But I like for the full board to agree on
Sure, what we're gonna put in.
Yeah, you might.
what we're gonna
You
tell
might
them.
Right.
want to designate someone to stand up at town meeting for this, because it's not the moderator that will read it, it will be you guys, so. You don't have to make the motion, but they'll ask for a planning board report, and you can just get up and say, hey,
So as of now, we know the three of us may or may not make it to the town meeting.
Yeah.
Really?
Well, I have an eye doctor
But I'm not
appointment.
planning board member.
in
Yeah,
Boston.
and I have to drive my granddaughter to her softball.
Wow.
Andrew is a maybe. I mean, if you're in Stone,
Stoneham for the dive rescue course.
and what time is that? Or is it all day?
It starts at 8 and I believe it goes to like 6 or 7
In the morning
in the evening.
to the evening?
Yeah.
I mean, I can let you, if my son-in-law can make it home to drive my granddaughter, then I can go to town meeting, but if he can't make it home, then I have to drive my granddaughter. to
So
the
we have to
softball.
present this?
But the statement will be written out,
Okay.
okay?
And I'll
So,
be there to answer any,
no, you don't have to say anything. You just have to read the statement that we all agreed
okay,
on, right?
basically recommended by the planning board.
Yeah, only that. We're not there to answer their questions. We're not there to answer their questions. This is only the position of the planning board
Mm-hmm,
on the matter
mm-hmm,
of the vote that we took
right,
to
That's
support it.
right.
Except for the solar bylaw fee removal. That one, you would just answer the questions that you get, which is gonna be like nothing. I'm assuming.
One would think.
You know what I mean? It's
I
like-
would
Say that again?
So remember that, the bylaw where we removed the
Fees.
fees for solar
Yeah.
installations
Yeah.
and put them in the,
In the
schedule?
fee thing, yeah.
Yeah,
That's actually a zoning article, so it has to go through every little
Right.
process for the state.
Okay,
And that's one where, since the planning board submitted it to the warrant, they would have to address town meeting for any questions.
okay.
It's just the best way to do it.
so there's, 18,
There we go. You have.
18, 19, and 20 for articles.
Yep.
But you said that one of these is not ours.
Okay, so warrant article 18 is the accessory apartment and residential district, and that was submitted by the bylaw review committee. However, it's an amendment to a zoning article which requires a planning board public hearing and report.
Which we did.
Meeting. So that's what we do here. And I started a draft for you guys and, you know, I put in a few sentences, but I'm not gonna, you know.
The same thing about the sound bylaw they put in, right?
For you.
I do have to run.
Well, okay,
Yes,
and this
Thank
Have fun
here,
diving.
Thank you.
All right,
Thank you.
thanks, Andy.
See you guys later.
good luck. So number 18 is the zone, is the,
Accessory apartment.
accessory apartment, which was done by the bylaw committee.
Mhm.
And so,
Well, I put a few things in there, already to get you started, but,
which says the bylaw
You
review
have to
committee
decide
drafted a
why.
new outdoor lighting. No. I thought this was the,
is that what you're looking for?
well, which one is it? Is it?
Do you wanna do 18 as the accessory?
19?
18 is the accessory apartment in residential districts. There were a number of amendments
20.
that were proposed. I do know that the bylaw review committee will be providing a report. However, since, I guess that it's a zoning amendment, the planning board has to, you know, give reasons why it supports it, which you did support on April 1st. So what were the reasons?
Well, we had discrepancies on this,
So I mean, at that point, that's, you know, I wouldn't put them in here because you voted to support it. What I would put in here is the reasons why you voted to support those amendments, which you did on April 1st. So tonight, and to town meeting, that's what you want to say. We voted to support these amendments, these changes, for what reason? And I started it for you, and basically what I wrote was the bylaw review committee drafted, oh, so that's wrong.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out which one you're talking about here.
Right on, okay, I got you now, I got it.
Okay, because 18 says solar.
Okay, yes, my
Okay.
mistake,
19 is,
outdoor lighting. Okay, so why did you support the accessory
outdoor lighting,
apartment?
no, outdoor lighting is,
Yeah.
20.
Yeah, no, that's wrong, and my apologies. So, we have to start again, I suppose. And, go back over why you supported the amendments to accessory apartment and residential district. Do you want me to go back and get
Oh.
that? Because I have that warrant article if you need it.
Should be right here somewhere.
From what I remember, it was mostly because
Oh, yeah,
the
this is-
bylaw was amended in 2019, and then the zoning board of appeals
Okay, this is
mentioned
the
that there was some
accessory
operating
apartments.
problems with it, remember? They had some implementation problems with it, and mostly it was the Board of Health, and the septic systems needing to be,
well, the
Approved
septic
ahead of
system was
time.
required to be installed before you.
or all approved.
Right, so that
So
part
that
I
was
had no
one.
problem with.
Yes, that
Right.
was one of them.
Right.
What else?
And then the other side was the size of the unit.
Yep. Yep, the size of the unit would be 35% of the
Floor
floor
area.
area of the apartment and the
Residents
main
combined.
residence combined. that's the maximum, and now that's it, you know?
And then there was this renewal of the permit issue.
Yep, which was resolved by, what the,
That's removed now, right?
yeah, it's removed, so we don't need to renew it. I
Every
think there was
5
a
years or
comment in
whatever.
there about, yeah, if there was a renewal, then you wouldn't have to make your apartment smaller, the accessory apartment smaller. Again, that was again, a
If it was grandfathered,
administrative.
basically.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, wait a minute, I just want to be clear on that. So I'm not
Yeah.
getting it wrong.
It is confusing.
Right. Regarding the permit renewal, it used to expire every 5 years originally.
Correct.
yeah, and hopefully it's not gonna be done, because a lot of areas, once you get your permit, that's it. Once
Really?
you get your permit, they don't come back to you every year or every 5 years or every 10 years
Okay.
for you to redo it.
So
It's
would that
considered
get
the
rid of that
accessory.
affordable link?
No.
You know, that's the
No.
state. I don't think you can take out the affordable portion.
Okay, are you,
I'm in favor of taking it out.
I
we
know.
can't.
Yeah.
but are you looking at the amendments, the regulation of accessory apartments?
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay,
Yeah, thank you.
so,
So we'll just,
so we deleted C1C in its entirety,
okay, that one,
but I don't know what C1C was.
oh, let me get it,
That
because I
was
can't
the
remember off the top of my
affordable
head.
language.
Okay.
No, it wasn't.
No,
Nice
that's, I
try.
remember that, yeah.
No.
I'll believe you, Robbie. You can sell me the Brooklyn Bridge too.
Come on.
She was facetious.
Huh?
She was being facetious, I think.
I was.
Yeah,
I'm
okay.
not offended.
But somebody was just telling me that this lady got she ended over $12,000. She got a phone call supposedly from a friend that she was in trouble and
Oh,
that she
no.
needed $12,000 to get out of court or jail or something.
And she wired or something?
No, she went to the bank because
No.
she went to the bank, withdrew, and my friend said she worked in a bank for like 30 years, but she withdrew $12,000 cash, and the district court was like 2 blocks away. She went home with the $12,000. A guy showed up supposedly from the sheriff's department and collected the $12,000,
Oh, I found it, I found it.
and she gave it away.
It's C1C.
Yes.
Yeah, C1C.
Okay, what that says is the Board of Appeals shall give due consideration to the mandatory referral report of the planning board, and where its decision differs from the recommendation of the planning board shall state the reasons therefore in writing. I think they found that was a little redundant.
Redundant, okay.
Yeah, so that's eliminated completely.
Okay,
Because it's something we do anyway.
Yes, it's a mandatory
Everybody
referral.
gets their
okay.
opinion.
So that could be, okay, so that's a reason why we agreed with that.
Yeah, most of them are ministerial or, you know.
Yeah.
They're deleting and substituting. Okay, the color is indicated by the.
Can I'm just, is what we're looking at now, what the public's going to see?
Yeah.
Doesn't
Well,
it
they're
have-
gonna,
So isn't this
That's-
question about the
That's a
C1?
bylaw sheet, that's not a
oh, yeah,
warrant, is it?
they're gonna
Yeah.
have
Oh,
the
that's the
full
warrant?
text,
I think
the
so.
full text.
Oh, that's the warrant.
Right, so I
yeah.
have to know what that all means?
No.
There will be a full text for town meeting, you know what I mean? I like to see it in the warrant, but there will be a full text
Oh,
of the
okay.
article that's being,
Okay.
what's being deleted exactly.
Oh,
Oh,
okay, okay, all right.
Which
okay.
people have asked for before. You know, if you're eliminating, what are you eliminating? They wanna know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Look at the regulation.
Okay,
How am I gonna answer that?
You're not,
Good.
We'll have that.
because it'll be in writing for you.
And you don't have to, as the planning board anyway, because this is the bylaw review committee,
Yeah, and
the bylaw review committee.
the people that come to vote are gonna have a copy.
Yeah, I believe so. I'll have to double check on that one, because that's the bylaw review.
well, the
committee.
other thing is, they get copies. One of the town meetings I went to, not the last one before, everybody got copies of whatever. And I was killing myself because it's like, didn't you people read the I want to get out of here. I want to go home. Don't, it's like, didn't you read it? It's right there in writing. I read it.
Yeah, okay.
So, yes, that's my pet peeve about town meetings and handouts. People don't read them.
So just to be sure,
I'll get you.
You won't be explaining.
You do.
I won't
You
have
will
to,
have everything in writing.
I did
That's, we'll
submit
make
it.
sure, just in case. I'm gonna try to make it, but if I can't
Right.
read,
right.
And
No, I just don't want to embarrass her. I can't remember what that stuff was.
if my son-in-law shows up and takes my granddaughter to the game, then I'll probably
Do you
go
want me
to.
to phone?
It's okay.
what's your
Okay.
phone number, Karen?
So the
How
text
can I
to the
get what's the
bylaw
best
will be
number?
sent.
It's my landline.
No way.
Yeah, my landline's my best number.
Do you have a cell phone?
I know, I do, if you want to text me, but I don't answer my cell phone. It'd have to.
Does your landline go to your cell phone?
No, but I have an answering machine.
Just give me both your numbers, so if I don't get you, I can text you.
Okay, so my cell phone number, so you can text me, is 978.
Oh, don't do that on a
799.
public
I can get
meeting.
978.
Yeah, thank you.
7480.
Thank you.
Because half the time my cell phone's
All right.
dead. I don't.
Somebody's gotta be
All right,
Sentry.
the landline is 978-300.
So we're going on to
56.
take a look at that.
Accessory bylaws.
Thank Computers everywhere. This is done. So.
But you want reasons why we agreed with.
Yeah,
this?
so you can make a general statement. I mean, there's not a lot of zoning related changes, you know, it's mostly
Administrative,
It's
clerical.
both,
Yeah.
clerical, administrative,
clarification.
clarification.
I would say it's mostly administrative and clarification edit.
Okay. And clarification edits. To enable
To be less
easier
re-
processing of a
To be
permit.
less redundant.
Yeah, less redundancy, reduce redundancies.
Something like that.
More efficient.
And make the permitting more efficient, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, and create a more efficient,
Process for applicants.
yeah,
Yeah,
permitting process, because it's still a special permit.
okay, that works.
Okay, simple and clear. And we'll just make that. So I'll leave number 1 in, if that's okay. The bylaw review committee drafted or submitted, because they are the ones that submitted this, the proposed amendments to 145-36 to the Board of Selectmen as part of the charge of the committee to review the zoning bylaws of the town of Townsend. And then as part of the process of a zoning amendment, the planning board held a public hearing, right? Which is what we have to do. All right. It's part of the process of a zoning amendment. All right. So the zoning amendment. Public hearing, and then number 3, the reason the planning board supports these changes are they are administrative and clarification edits. They reduce redundancy and create a more efficient permitting process for applicants.
Yes.
Okay.
If you want to, once you have those statements ready, email that to the whole board, just in case they're there, they know what.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then if there's something that anybody finds, we can, get it corrected during the day when we're not available.
Okay.
Or I won't be available most of the day, definitely after 11 a.m.
All right.
Yeah, we'll be told. We have to leave
So
for
that's the
work, I
accessory-
gotta go tomorrow night.
Excuse me, accessory apartments.
Westminster.
And that is that actually warrant Article 18? Did you double check that? The accessories, is that the right warrant article for the
Oh.
accessory apartment?
Yeah, you have to check there because these are not correct.
Lighting. Article 18.
Okay, great. So we have the right warrant article anyway. Good start.
Yeah.
So warrant article 19, from what I understand, is the general requirements for all large-scale mounted solar farms.
Installation.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, great.
Yep.
And do you all have a copy of that one? And is that sufficient? Or do you want to amend it, add to
I'm
it?
gonna leave these in.
Article 19?
Do you have a copy of that one?
Oh, your report.
Yeah, the one that I did.
Let me see.
you
Is that
go.
one? There shouldn't be much to this one. Following report. Fee schedule. Yep. I don't think we need to add anything more to that. That's basically why we changed it, to take the
Yeah.
fee out of it.
Yeah, if you think it's too wordy or redundant, you know, if
Um,
you're reading it, does it read well? Is it simple? I tend to get wordy, so I'm okay with it. Do you have it? I might get a little redundant with 1 and 3, so it's up to you. I don't know.
Well, you took the fees out.
Yep.
To create the Appendix E fee schedule.
Yep.
And you say it again
In 3, right?
in 3.
So 3 can be totally
I think so.
deleted.
Yeah, I was
Okay.
gonna say take 3 away, yeah,
Excellent.
yeah, and just have the 2.
Yeah, I think it was just going on about making it user-friendly again.
Right.
Yeah, so, yeah, just take.
Make
out
it
3.
simple, yeah. Okay, perfect.
Okay.
People who are at the meeting, if they're gonna be reading, their head's gonna be spinning.
Right.
Yeah.
But if they hear user-friendly, it's always nice, right?
Yeah.
So Article 20, and where's that? Warrant Article 20 is the outdoor lighting. This one is brought by the bylaw review committee. However,
I
this,
don't see a 20.
oh, sorry, here you go. Take that one.
No, like the one, the warrant article, I don't see it.
There isn't a 20 on the
Oh,
other.
here it is.
Okay, is it warrant 20? Or
Yeah, it is.
Mine is at
Yeah, it is.
17.
No, it is, I'm sorry, I
That's okay.
see it. Deletion, Article 20 is deletion of outdoor lighting provisions in the zoning bylaw.
Yeah. Now,
That's the-
this one,
That's the
Um,
deletion of, but the
That's
lighting.
the bylaw committee, right?
yeah, that's brought by the bylaw committee, and they are proposing a general bylaw, outdoor lighting bylaw. And if that comes before this, I think that's maybe article number 14, 13 or something.
Okay, the new bylaw is Article 16 for outdoor lighting.
Okay,
And then Article 20 is deletion of outdoor lighting provisions in the zoning bylaw.
okay.
So, so are they both zoning then?
No,
No.
just the repeal, because when you're pulling out of the zoning bylaw, that's why we had to do the public hearing thing.
Oh, okay, because general bylaws are planning, right?
Correct. No, general
No,
bylaws
Are
are,
zoning.
yeah, and general bylaws, usually Board of Selectmen, if there needs to be hearing, they'll have one. But they don't always. It's up to town meeting vote, and it's a majority vote, not a 2/3 vote. So for the zoning,
To take it out.
to take it out for this particular deletion, because it's in the zoning bylaw, it requires a 2/3 vote to approve to take it out.
Take it out.
Yeah, just to remove it. So
And then
it's like the Bible.
to,
Why did they
and then
put,
they put another one in.
Yeah.
wouldn't they put this one first before they add the new one? Because what if
Well,
they
there's a
don't?
lot of discussion on that.
Because what if they don't approve?
Then they don't have an outdoor lighting bylaw.
No, they will still have this one because they will pass over this. If the general bylaw doesn't pass on Article 16,
16.
then they're just gonna pass over warrant Article 20. So that's
to
something,
remove.
exactly.
Okay, so 16 comes first,
Mhm.
which is putting one in.
Yep.
Okay,
And then
And
this is
20
more of a
comes out.
housekeeping. This will be a housekeeping thing.
okay,
So
all right, I kind of get that, okay.
with that being said, do you want to put a sentence in
everybody
there
else does.
about that? You know, I mean, we don't recommend this article be taken up unless the general bylaw passes, the new outdoor lighting bylaw passes, or do you want to even not even comment on it? You don't have to, it's up to them to. You just don't want it being taken out of the bylaw if you don't have anything, I wouldn't think. You know what I mean? Then
Why
you,
doesn't town council recommend?
he did
speaking to
opine,
that?
he did opine on it. And he and the Board of Selectmen put the warrant together in that order. So I know it's all been,
I mean, are they going to explain why it's in that order?
I would assume that Board of Selectmen will. Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
Because that's not up to us to explain why they
No.
did what they did.
yeah,
Exactly. So you can just talk to,
So where was our position on the lighting bylaw?
oh, so your position on the repeal of the outdoor lighting bylaw, 14552, which is now in the code, was you all voted unanimously in favor of it at the
Taking it
public
out.
hearing. Correct.
yes.
Correct.
To repeal.
Because of the reasoning, so that's
To
what
take
you
it
did.
out, until I saw the new lighting bylaw, and then I was like, oh, I think my lamppost is illegal under the new, under this new one. I says, I'm not sure if I like this.
You know, like, how does that work? Everything that's already here is grandfathered. You can't go back and make people change things.
No.
Right.
Is it, so, as long as I'm
Although,
grandfathered
not
in
even-
here, I don't know, I didn't read the whole regulation because it was too many pages, I just
So
looked
do you
at the
have a
pictures.
copy of just the things that I put down, or do you have 20, warrant article 20 draft?
I do.
Okay, so if you think those are okay, or if you want to put anything else, or just leave it as is.
So we're supporting the new one?
Yep, you supported unanimously to amend the
Remove.
zoning bylaw by removing that.
And then,
Removing the outdoor lighting.
right,
Yeah.
20 is removal, 16
is
is
It's a
the,
new,
the
it's a
new
new
one.
bylaw,
Yeah.
but 16 is gonna come before 20
yes,
in the order.
yes.
And I'm gonna add that, because in my report,
So-
it's
Board
not
of
clear.
Selectmen, whoever's gonna read that's gonna have to say,
See, that's why I think it's.
has to explain it.
Mhm.
Because I think it's weird, because you would think that you would want to repeal the first one and
But-
then add the new one.
But what if
Well-
it doesn't pass, though, the new one? Then you have
No, but the
nothing.
thing is, they
right?
shouldn't be separate.
No?
The article
why did
should
they
be
have
to
so many-
remove and replace.
Oh, yes, yes, yes.
Yes.
That's what I'm surprised about
Well,
too.
yeah.
Right.
But maybe because one is a zoning and one's a general. I don't know. You know what I mean? One's a
Oh.
general bylaw and one's a zoning bylaw, which require different
Who
votes.
governs general?
Oh, so you still probably could combine them, just require the 2/3 vote of the article. And I think that was the worry of the new outdoor lighting bylaw, that it wouldn't get a 2/3 vote. So therefore you have that one fail, you know, or the whole article fail, and you have nothing but what you had, right? You know what I mean? Like,
Well, so if
Because it-
16 fails,
yep,
they don't even take up 20.
correct.
Okay,
So that's what happened.
all right, okay, all right.
And
so
it remains the
the
same.
same, okay.
Right. But if you
Okay.
combine them,
But
then you didn't
okay,
get a
so,
2/3 vote.
so if 16 passes, then you gotta revoke 20.
And 16 can pass with a majority vote and 20 needs a 2/3 to take it out. What if they don't get the 2/3 to take it out?
That's a really good question. I know.
Well, that was what my original thought was. Well,
Then,
okay, so what if they don't get the 2/3 vote? So now you got two lighting things?
then
You
I
got a
guess it
new
stays
one,
on and yeah,
and
we have to
I
reconcile
mean-
it.
Well, that's the whole point. It wasn't done right, you know?
It's like,
It should have been one article, one vote to remove and replace, no
Yeah.
matter.
yeah.
And
And
I
kept
think
it as
when
a
they were
zoning.
doing their placards, they should have had them together
Right.
instead of 3 articles are gonna be in between before you get to the other one that pertains to the 16. So
Okay,
Mhm.
but anyway.
Well, regarding the lighting bylaw, the proposed change, the new ordinance, did this board approve it?
You don't have to make a statement on that. I'd say keep it to your individual vote at town meeting, because opining on it as a planning board is not a requirement and is not solicited. You're solicited on the comment to only comment and vote on anything that affects the zoning bylaw. That's it. Zoning bylaw only. So that is not really something you would opine on as a board. You would individually at the meeting though. Yeah. So I just wrote, if you want me to read it,
Yeah.
pretty simple. The proposed amendment will delete section 14552 entitled Outdoor Lighting in its entirety, remove and replace it with a new general bylaw for outdoor lighting. That's the reasons that I put for number 1. Number 2, the bylaw review committee drafted the new outdoor lighting as a general bylaw and submitted it to the Board of Selectmen as part of the charge of the committee in their review of the zoning bylaws of the town of Townsend. So I don't know if we want that one first, maybe. In there.
Oh, this is the second statement and put that
Yeah,
first,
switch those around a little bit.
maybe because that was kind of the order.
Put the onus,
Yeah.
like on the author of the bylaw.
Yeah, I would do that.
Initiated by them, okay. Let's switch those. Okay, and if you guys have any other comments or thoughts on that? Only on the removal, do you want to?
No,
Yeah,
I don't think we need to be very wordy.
yeah,
It's pretty simple.
I
We
mean,
didn't draft it. It's just a guide for people to go by and they have to decide on which one they want.
yeah, I mean, you could put in there that in the event that the new outdoor lighting bylaw does not pass, the planning board recommends leaving this,
No action.
taking no action on this.
Correct.
Yeah, would probably be a good thing, because then you don't want to be without one.
Right.
So 3 in the event.
That makes sense.
General bylaw. Approved by town meeting. Taking action on this article.
Is the special town meeting going to be heard before the annual?
I believe that's
Well,
the,
they open it, then they close it, and then they open the special. They open the annual, then they
Close.
adjourn it
Right, I see.
to be continued after the special,
I got it.
from my recollection.
Yeah, I believe that's, yeah, I believe that's how they do it.
Okay.
I remember them doing it that way before.
Can we take up, again, you'll just send us and we'll respond.
yeah, okay, yeah, 18, 19, and 20, and then, so those 3 plus
The decision.
14 of special town meeting, right?
Yes,
And that should be everything.
yes.
Okay, thank you.
So,
Awesome.
thank you. Our next meetings are May 20th, which I will not be in person.
Okay.
And I don't think. I want to say, because we discussed it at the last meeting.
So she not gonna be in it, because that was the continuation of the, isn't that the continuation? The people that were here last week.
Oh, yes, May 20th, you have a continued public hearing, right? For the stormwater?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
No problem.
And
Will we have a
I'm
quorum?
not here. I'll be on Zoom.
That's fine.
Will we have a quorum?
Pull the permit with you guys.
We just need the 3 of us.
Do we need a,
Or do
four
we
people
need
to
all 4
sign
of us?
off on that?
Oh, well, I won't have the decision written right away,
For
so,
May.
yeah, so.
Okay,
I'll try to do a draft decision, but yeah,
Oh, okay. But,
don't worry about signing it. You have,
Okay.
but do we need to be all four present?
no, in person?
No, not in
Just
person.
attending.
just attending.
No. You can just have the three of you. That's fine. Yeah, that's fine. You could be on Zoom, right? You said?
Yeah.
No, that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
all the same.
Okay,
Okay, so
I'll be here. You'll be here.
Great.
maybe make, if there's any question, maybe make, an outreach to Michael, just in case.
Okay.
Okay, and
Sure.
he can do Zoom,
Okay.
as well.
Thank you. I will. I will do that.
So that's the 20th,
Okay.
and then June 10th, and then also on the 20th, we will have 3 sets of minutes
Yes.
to
Yeah.
do.
To review.
Okay.
Right,
Mhm.
and then what, is there anything for June 10th?
Right now, no. I think we're expecting a couple more stormwater permit applications to come in, so there
Really?
might be.
Oh, maybe I'll do that. So what is the anticipated, because I'm not quite sure about the 24th.
So for the next meetings,
Yeah, what's anticipated for the next meeting?
we don't have a lot of applications in right now. So once we process the stormwater management permit, there is nothing beyond that. So in terms of public hearings.
Okay. So I'm gonna be here July and August, so, the 8th and 22nd should be fine. Are you guys going away or anything?
No, because I get chauffeur duty, I think, for the rest of the summer. I'm not going anywhere.
Okay.
So are you talking June or?
I was,
I have-
in June would be, I'm not quite sure about the 24th. And if we are really light, we could just, push everything to July, if possible. And when is, our report due on 22 Main Street?
Oh, I will look that up for you. Sorry, I don't have that right now, but there is a deadline. The board never received an application for amendment to, or modification to the site plan, so there's nothing.
For
For
what?
22 Main Street. The last action was the board asked for a modification to the special permit with the vestibule and the.
Yeah.
Oh,
distances.
the handicap ramp or something?
Yeah, so we haven't received any application yet. So I'll reach out again, but
They're still working.
They're not. I mean, her business is open, but they are not working on the vestibule.
Okay,
so that is something I can follow up on. I'll also talk to Jessica to follow up with that too, and we'll see what we can do.
Okay.
Yeah.
What was the alternate from MassDOT?
we didn't get it.
No, there was something
I
that
haven't gotten
came.
an update for,
No,
no update.
they came with a broad statement that wasn't
I
exactly,
thought they had to change something.
no, they were, no, what happened is their consultant approached Matt Dodd,
The engineer.
and we insisted on a report from Matt Dodd.
Yes.
So they did a preliminary one,
Yeah.
which they came in with their site plan to conform with the preliminary one. But that was not submitted to MassDOT. And then secondly, I know for myself that MassDOT most likely wouldn't have approved that.
Oh.
And that is why, and then they came back later with the changes for the handicap and the vestibule. And I'm like, you gotta start all over. They're changing these driveways and
Please get us a report for, the 20th on that.
Okay, yeah.
Okay,
I'll
it's,
follow up
it's
with
like
that.
long enough.
Yeah, I'll reach out. But they do
Okay.
have an expiration date on the special permit, which I think you mentioned. You guys
I
gave
think
an
it's to
extension.
June 30th.
Okay,
I'll double check, but I
So-
think you're right.
I think so, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
so come May 20th, we should have an update,
Okay.
okay? Because what happens if we won't extend after June 30th? I mean, enough is enough.
I can ask town council that, I don't know.
So,
No, but we haven't received an approved statement from MassDOT.
No, the applicant, last time you asked the applicant to submit a modified site plan review.
yeah, and she agreed.
And, yeah, and it hasn't been received by the planning board office.
Okay, all right. Okay, then, it's the 20th.
You can't do everything they said they want to do there.
It'll be at 3:30 for me.
So she's probably at trouble with the surveyor
You're gonna be my
and the
favorite.
design. and the building.
No, my favorite.
Once she's got somebody planning on building or what they want,
Okay, you can have this back.
Oh, so
and it
yes.
doesn't work with the site.
But the vestibules would screwing it
About
up.
where?
Mount Charleston.
Oh.
And even the one that we did approve prior
know,
to the
I have-
vestibule
I have-
one,
People keep
I was
asking me,
waiting
but I
for the
really
confirmation from
I don't
MassDOT
have
on that driveway approval.
Oh,
Because he tried to wing
okay,
it by
guys.
with a lower approval.
Call for a motion to adjourn at 8:25, please.
I make a motion to adjourn at 8:25 on May 6th, 2024.
I second that.
Okay. And I,
Carol Hoff says yes.
Robert Therian here.
Laura Schiffern, yes.